Hello everyone. Today we'll be discussing summary of the poem Darkling Thrush by Thomas Hardy. So as the poem begins, it introduces us to its speaker and the speaker who is telling about his experience that one day he was standing in his village by taking support of a gate. So he tells that it was a very boring day and it was end of winter. That means it was very cold and the setting sun was pale in grey sky. And he also tells that the time which he is talking about is the sun was setting. It was evening time. It was the time of dawn and the color of the sky was grey because it was evening. So the speaker looked up through tangled plant stems. So because he was standing in a village, there were so many plants and trees. So where he was standing, above his head, there were many branches of trees and plants. So he was trying to look above those plant stems and he talks to himself because nobody was there except him. So he says that all the people who could be here, they all have gone inside their homes and they are sitting next to fire because it is the season of winter and it's very cold. So that is why everybody has gone inside their homes and they are sitting next to fire. So now in the next stanza, the speaker begins to think metaphorically. So now he says that he sees the harsh feature of the land as visual representations of the century's corpse or the 19th century which was coming to an end. So now poet is talking metaphorically and he says that now in this stanza he is comparing the end of a century to a dead body. He is calling it a dead body as the century is going to end. So he is saying that it is going to die. This 19th century is going to die as another century is going to begin. He is calling the grey sky of the evening as a tomb of century where the century will be buried. And wind which is blowing, he is calling that wind as a mourning song. A mourning song means song for death. He is also saying that fertile land has become barren and according to him everything seems to hopeless and bad because the century is going to end. So while he was talking about everything negative, that barren lands, dead twigs of plants and everything, he hears a melodious sound. And when he looks up to find out about that sound, he finds out that that sound is of a songbird, the thrush. So the thrush looks small and weak and its feathers are ruffled by the cruel winter winds. So the bird or the thrush which was singing, it was very small and it was very weak, and because of the winter, because of the cold and snow, its feathers are ruffled because of the cold wind. But these things does not bother the thrush and it is singing out with full voice. Song of hope with happiness. So now the speaker looks around both near himself and far away as well, and he finds nothing that could justify this beautiful and joyful singing. Because according to him, everything is bad, everything is destroyed. He is sad, he is hopeless. So according to him, everything is the barren land, the dry twigs, the cold weather, and the end of an era or a century. That is 19th century. But on the other hand, the bird is singing so joyfully. So he is thinking to himself that what is motivating this bird to sing such a hopeful and joyful song? What is this bird happy about? What is this bird hopeful about? So after all this, the speaker comes to a conclusion that there might be something which he doesn't know but the bird knows. On one hand, in the same circumstances, he is standing but he is all pessimistic and hopeless. And on the other hand, the bird is joyful and hopeful, even though it is also there in the same circumstance. So this poem, The Darkling Thrush, it was published in 1900, December 29. So this poem is basically response or reflection of poet to the end of the 19th century and expresses mourning at the loss of the past and pessimistic attitude towards the future. And another focal point of this poem is thrush, which is singing joyfully and hopefully. And to the contrast of what the speaker is thinking, It is representing and reflecting hopefulness and optimism, even though they both are in the same circumstance.